You know, people love to talk. Oh, they love it. They yap on and on like their words have weight, like they're painting the world with some profound masterpiece. But let me tell you something. Words, they're cheap. Yeah, they're easy, see? Anyone can open their mouth and spill out whatever they think makes them important. But you, you're different. You've got something they ain't got. You've got the power of silence. You've probably felt it before. When you're in a room and things get real quiet, and suddenly it feels heavy. Like the air's thicker, like every second is dragging on. That's the weight of silence. That's the kind of pressure that can break a person. And you're gonna become a master of it. You're gonna learn to let that silence stretch. Let it build until they can't take it anymore. You don't need to say a word. All you gotta do is be there and let them unravel. But there's more to it than that. It's not just about sitting still and waiting. No. Silence is a tool, a weapon. And like any weapon, you've gotta know how to use it. You've gotta know when to stay quiet and when to strike. Timing, kid. That's the key. Let me tell you a little secret. People are predictable. They follow patterns, routines. They think they're so complex, so mysterious. But really, they're simple. All you gotta do is watch. Pay attention. And when the moment's right, when they've lulled themselves into a false sense of security, that's when you make your move. It's like watching a clock. Tick, tock, tick, tock. It's always the same rhythm, the same pattern. People are like that. They fall into a rhythm, a routine, and they get comfortable. They start to think they've got everything under control. And then, bam, you disrupt it. You throw the clock off its rhythm, and suddenly, they don't know what the hell is going on. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna watch, you're gonna wait, and when the time is right, you're gonna shatter their sense of control. But it all starts with patience. It starts with silence. Yeah, that's right. Silence. It's deafening, isn't it? When you stop talking, stop explaining, stop begging for their approval, they get all squirmy, don't they? Because your silence, it's louder than any of the garbage they spew. And when you stop feeding into their game, they can't control it. They can't control you. You become an enigma, a mystery they can't solve. And let me tell you something, kid. People fear what they can't understand. Fear it more than anything. You think you need to speak up? Make a name for yourself? Be seen and heard? Nah. That's what they want you to think. You're playing into their hands when you do that. They'll pick apart every word, every gesture, and twist it till it's not even yours anymore. But your silence? They can't twist that. They can't interpret what they don't hear. That silence, that makes them anxious, makes them second guess themselves, makes them weak. And the moment they realize They don't know what's going on in your head. That's the moment you own them. Look at you, sitting there all quiet, keeping your thoughts locked up tight. It's powerful, more powerful than any speech, any act of bravado. You think you're being overlooked, huh? Like they don't see you? Like you're invisible? Ha! Let them think that. Let them. 'Cause when you're quiet, they'll start watching, wondering. Your silence will echo in ways they can't predict, in ways they can't ignore. It's when you finally speak, when you finally make your move. That's when they'll regret ever underestimating you. But by then, it'll be too late. They'll be scrambling, trying to figure out how they missed it. How they missed you. That's the beauty of silence, see? It's a weapon. Most people don't even know how to use it. They're too scared of being forgotten, overlooked, dismissed. But not you. No, you're different. You're smarter than that. You know how to wield it, how to use it to your advantage. You know what's even better? You don't need to say a damn thing to prove them wrong. You show them. You let your actions, your silence, do the talking. It's when you're at your quietest that you're the most dangerous. People don't see the storm when the sky is clear. They don't hear the ticking until the bomb's already about to blow. You're that bomb, just waiting. And when you finally go off, they won't know what hit them. But you've got to hold it in. You've got to keep that silence strong. Don't give them an inch. Don't let them in. Keep them guessing. Keep them wondering. That's how you keep the upper hand. That's how you stay in control. People think control comes from force, from being loud, from making noise. But nah, real control, real power, it's in the quiet. It's in the space between the words. It's in the things you don't say. And when they finally realize they can't push you, they can't provoke you, they can't own you, oh, they'll hate it. They'll hate you. And that's when you know you've won. But don't think for a second that this is about being passive. No, no, no. This is strategy. It's about patience. It's about playing the long game. You wait, you watch, and you strike when they least expect it. Let them think you're weak. Let them think you're invisible. Because when you finally speak, when you finally take your stand, it's not gonna be with words. It's gonna be with action. And those actions, oh, they're gonna echo louder than any speech, any declaration. You've got that in you. I see it. You've got that quiet, burning fire inside, waiting to erupt. And when it does, when you finally let it out, they're gonna feel it. Every single one of them. They won't be able to ignore you anymore. They won't be able to overlook you. You'll be all they can think about. But it starts now. It starts with you, with your silence, with your patience. So stop doubting yourself. Stop waiting for their validation. It ain't coming, and you don't need it. All you need is that silence, that patience, that power that's bubbling up inside you. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. You don't owe them a damn thing. Let them talk. Let them laugh. Let them think they've got you all figured out. They have no idea. And when they realize it, when they finally see what's been brewing under the surface all this time, it's gonna be too late for them. Remember this, your silence, it's gonna echo, louder than words, louder than their petty insults, their cheap shots, their whispers behind your back. They won't be able to overlook it. And when they finally hear it, when they finally feel the weight of that silence, it'll crush them. So what's it gonna be, huh? You gonna keep playing their game? Keep trying to fit in? Keep talking just to be heard? Or are you gonna sit back, stay quiet, and wait for your moment to strike? 'Cause when that moment comes, you better be ready. You know what really gets to them? It's not the loud, messy types. The ones always shouting, always in the spotlight. No. What really gets to people is the quiet ones. The ones who sit back, watch, wait. Those are the ones that haunt them. See, they can't predict what you'll do next. And fear? Oh, fear lives in the unknown. They don't fear the guy who yells, who telegraphs his every move. Nah. They fear the one sitting in the corner, eyes calm, silent. But you just know. Something's coming. You've been playing their game long enough. Doing what they expect. Following the rules. And where's that gotten you, huh? Let me guess. Forgotten, dismissed, shoved aside like yesterday's trash. And why? Because they pegged you. They think they figured you out. They think you're harmless because you've been too damn polite, too willing to play nice. But what happens when you stop? What happens when you stop giving a damn about what they think? That's when the fun begins. You think silence is passive? Oh, buddy, no. It's the deadliest weapon you've got. See, people expect a reaction. They're counting on it. They want you to shout back, to fight on their terms. They want you to lash out, to lose your cool. 'Cause the moment you do that, they've won. You're playing by their rules. But when you don't give them anything, no reaction, no outburst, just silence, you'll watch them crumble. They'll eat themselves alive, trying to figure out what's going on inside your head. People hate the unknown. They fear it. They fear the silence because it forces them to confront their own insecurities. And you're gonna use that. You're gonna let them destroy themselves while you stay calm, controlled. Let them burn out while you're just getting started. But you've got to commit to it. That's the hard part. People think silence means nothing's happening, but in reality, it means everything's happening. It's the calm before the storm, the eye of the hurricane. And you're that storm. You're that chaos, just waiting. Let them think they've won. Let them think you're down for the count. You're just biding your time. Oh, and don't think I'm telling you to be passive. Oh no. You're not sitting back, taking hits for nothing. You're waiting for the right moment. You're waiting to make your move when it matters. And when you do, it's gonna hit them like a freight train. They won't see it coming. Not a single one of them. Think about it. What happens when the underdog doesn't stay down? When the one they all counted out refuses to go quietly? It shakes the whole damn system. And that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna shake them to their core. And all it's gonna take is one moment. But to get there, you gotta hold back. You gotta let the silence build. Let the tension rise. And when the time comes, when you know it's time, you hit hard. And I mean hard. Because they won't be expecting it. They're expecting you to keep quiet, to stay down, to play nice forever. They think they've got you pegged. But when you strike, it'll feel like the ground's been ripped out from under them. And that's power. That's real, raw, terrifying power. It's the kind of power that makes people rethink everything they thought they knew. The kind of power that leaves a mark. And you are gonna leave one hell of a mark. See, they've underestimated you. They've overlooked you. And that's their biggest mistake. 'Cause what they don't realize is you're not just playing their game. You're rewriting the whole damn thing. And by the time they figure that out, by the time they realize just how wrong they were, you'll already have won. But you can't rush it. That's where most people screw up. They get too eager, too desperate to prove themselves. And what happens? They blow their chance. They let their emotions get the best of them. But not you. You're smarter than that. You're playing the long game. You're letting them think they've got the upper hand. Letting them get comfortable. And when they're at their weakest, when they've convinced themselves they've won, that's when you strike. And it's gonna be glorious. It's gonna be brutal. But most importantly, it's gonna be on your terms. No more playing by their rules. No more trying to fit into the box they've shoved you in. You're bigger than that. You're more than they'll ever be able to handle. And they're gonna learn that the hard way. But until then, stay silent. Stay calm. Keep that fire inside you. Let it burn slow and steady. 'Cause when it's time, when it's time, they're not gonna know what hit them. And your silence, it'll echo so loud, they'll never be able to forget it. Never. So, what's it gonna be, huh? You gonna keep letting them walk all over you? Or are you gonna bide your time, hold your ground, and wait for your moment to take it all? 'Cause trust me, when that moment comes, you won't just win, you'll own them. You know, kid, it's funny. People think strength is all about how loud you are, how big of a show you put on. They think if you're not the one roaring, you're weak. They couldn't be more wrong. The loud ones? They burn out, quick. They scream until their throats are raw. But what does that leave them with? Nothing. Just empty noise. And once that dies down, no one even remembers what they were yelling about. But you're the one they'll remember. You're the one who didn't need to shout, didn't need to throw a fit. You're the one who stayed quiet. And that quiet, it leaves a mark. You ever notice how the loudest person in the room is usually the most insecure? They're scared. Scared of being ignored, scared of being overlooked. So they make a lot of noise, trying to cover up just how little they actually matter. But you don't need to make noise. You don't need to fight for attention. You just need to be there, present, patient, watching. And that scares them more than any scream ever could. It's unnerving, isn't it? Silence. Because in that silence, they project all their fears, all their doubts. They start wondering what you're thinking, what you're planning. And that's where the real power is. Because here's the thing about silence. It forces people to confront themselves. When you don't give them any clues, no hints, no reactions, all they're left with is their own mind. And people? They don't like what's in there. They don't like facing their own insecurities, their own weaknesses. But that's what you do to them, just by staying quiet. You force them to sit with themselves. And trust me, kid, most people, they can't handle it. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but Joker, how do I do that? How do I hold back when everything in me is screaming to react? I'll tell you how. You stop caring. You stop giving a damn about what they think, their opinions, their judgments. They're worth nothing. You stop feeding into their game. You stop trying to explain yourself, to justify yourself. You're beyond that. You don't owe them a damn thing. They'll poke you. They'll prod you. They'll try to get a rise out of you. Don't give them the satisfaction. Don't give them an inch. They want you to react, because the moment you do, they've won. They've got you playing their game again. But you're smarter than that. You see the bigger picture. You know that the real power comes from restraint, from keeping them guessing. And they'll guess. They'll guess till it drives them insane. What's going on in your head? What are you planning? They'll never know. They'll never be able to pin you down, and that's terrifying. People want certainty. They want things to fit into neat little boxes. And when you don't give them that, when you refuse to play along, they start to unravel. That's your power. That's your strength. You don't need to be loud. You don't need to be flashy. You just need to be deliberate. Every move, every decision, carefully planned, carefully timed. And when you do speak, when you finally decide to break the silence, it's gonna hit 'em like a sledgehammer. See, words are powerful, but only when they're backed by silence. Only when they've been earned. People talk too much. They throw words around like confetti, meaningless, hollow. But you're gonna make every word count. When you finally speak, when you finally let them hear what's been brewing inside you all this time, they'll listen. Oh, they'll listen all right. Because they'll know that you don't speak unless it matters. And that's something they can't ignore. It's like waiting for a storm. The air gets heavy, the sky goes dark, and there's this stillness, this quiet. And you just know something's coming. You can feel it in your bones. That's what you're gonna be. The storm they didn't see coming. The quiet before the chaos. And when you finally unleash it, when you finally let loose everything you've been holding in, they'll never see you the same way again. So, what's it gonna be, huh? You gonna keep shouting, keep trying to be heard in a world that's too noisy to care? Or are you gonna be the silence that cuts through it all? The silence that makes them stop, makes them think, makes them scared. 'Cause that's where your power lies, kid. Not in your words, not in your actions, but in the space between. In the quiet moments when everyone else is too scared to stop talking. And when they finally realize what you are, what you've become. Oh, it'll be too late. Way too late. You'll be the one in control. You'll be the one calling the shots. And they'll be the ones scrambling, trying to catch up, trying to figure out how they missed it. But you and me, we know the truth, don't we? We know that real power, real strength, it doesn't come from noise. It comes from the silence that leaves them breathless. The silence that makes them afraid to blink, afraid to breathe. That's the power you're gonna wield. And it's gonna be glorious.